What's up, y'all? In this video we're going to make a key for what's called a Strattec Cam Lock. It's got a weatherproof cover with a spring-loaded dust shield there. Somebody brought this in. Usually these are found on like campers, RVs. Some toolboxes used them as well. You used to could, I don't know if you still can or not, you know how it is nowadays, but Strattec 702365 is a 4-pack of key to like, and you can see there's the key right there. It comes with cams, washers, and then 4 key to like locks. They used to have a service kit. They may still have a service kit for these, and you could peel the face cap off. It's totally not necessary. The weird thing about these is, well, two weird things about them is it's not so weird, but it uses this 1595 key blank, and I've already marked where it goes up, and I've already marked on the underside, so I know when I take it apart which way is which or how it was on there. But you can see that goes in pretty much all the way. It's actually the same key. You can use a B1 if you don't have this 1595 blank. It's a B1 key will work just fine. However, you have to grind off that top shoulder, so you would just basically put this on a grinder or file down the entire top shoulder of it, and everything else works just fine the same once you take off that top shoulder, in case you don't have the 1595. The other weird thing about this is if we run the code on the cam lock I have there, which is 100B, and look at the cuts there, we can see, as with most cam locks, it kind of starts at the tip and then goes back. I ran a few of the codes, and it is a 5-wafer lock, and they all have 5 depths, but they all start with 1. Of course, 1 in most wafer lock worlds, 1 is a no cut. And look at the code series, it skips. Weirdly, randomly skips. That's where I stopped with it, and I discovered that the one we're working on is one of these, which I'm not going to share with you because you may not have this information when you're in the field. But it is a 5-wafer lock. All starts with 1, but every one of them is going to start with a 1. So basically, it's just a 4-wafer lock. Now, if you get to this and it's locked, somebody calls you out and it's like, "Hey, I need you to make a key for this." Yeah, it's not that hard to open. But let's go ahead and take it apart. Oh, wait, I just locked it in that position. Well, shoot. Okay. Doesn't really matter. So let's take it apart while we have so we can look and see what's going on with it. So let's lay these out in row there. Take this guy off. Got a little spring washer here to put tension on it. We've got our standard cam retaining nut there. We've got the washer that actually came with them, and then this sleeve, which basically protects the viewing windows there. So when we insert our key, we can see that since we picked it, we are not in the best position for viewing. So let's pick it back real quick. Boop. Yeah, that's super tough to deal with there. All right, so if we get our key and insert it in and check it out, we can look at it and pretty much decode it. We know there's a 1 in the front, but there's nothing there. If you look at the top of it here, you can see it just hits the top. That means that's probably the deepest cut, and since we only have 3 and 5, and then these are all 3 the same, that would be 1, 5, 3, 3, 3. Now with most cam locks, it's basically, now this one, again, you could grind off the top shoulder, and it's shoulder stopped according to the code series. So basically you would just shoulder stop it on the bottom. But if you didn't have that and you were using a Lishi Clipper, you could easily just take a micrometer, and we can see measuring it from the bottom shoulder there. Basically, we're going to go ahead and get a Sharpie, and we're going to mark it where the cuts would need to be. So from that bottom shoulder right there, we got 522. So that's the very Oops, that's the very tip of it. And then 429, so we're gonna suck it down to 429. 428 is close enough. Line it up with the bottom shoulder. And shoot. And then 336, go down a little bit more. Close enough. Line it up with the bottom shoulder. Mark it. And then 243. We don't have to worry about that last one. So 243. Bottom shoulder again. And mark it. So there's our 4 cuts. 3 is 220, 5 is 190. So from there, you would just measure this. 248. So if we suck this down to 220, oh, we just passed it. 220. Line it up. We can see the 3 cut is actually not very deep at all. So on this one, since we have 3 3s in a row, it's pretty easy to just, whoa, bottom 220 and go across. I mean, that's not the greatest, but whatever. 190, 187, 190, and we're gonna mark that right there. All right, so that should be about as close as you need to be able to cut this guy. So let's go ahead and put this on and see what we come up with. All right, so I angled that a little bit, so we'll go boom. And then our next cut would be boom. And our next cut would be boom. And then this cut would be, okay, the ridge is in the way, so we're gonna have to flip that over. So let's just line it up with that line right there. Actually, we can just mark it here. Go around it. Right there. And right there. Right about to there. And boom. A little bit deeper, maybe. Doing this through the camera, so it's much harder through a camera than just looking at it. But all right, so that should be it. There we go. So that's how you make a key for a Strattec. Obviously, it may not be 1533, it may be 5153. Again, I did notice that the code series is very unusual for a code series in that it skips. There's no 101, 102, 103, then it's 104, 5, 6, 7, and there's no 8. It goes from 9 to 16. This particular code ended up being 152B, which was 1533. So there you go. Again, if you need to use a B1, you just grind off the top and do the same thing I just did, and you're good to go. Pretty easy to deal with these guys. Put it back together, make your money. Thanks for watching, y'all. If you have any questions or comments, post them in the comments section. We'll catch y'all next video.